This message is not reaching you by accident. Something in your financial life has quietly changed, and heaven has already sealed it. For years, you moved through a cycle that felt exhausting: small victories followed by sudden losses, brief relief followed by new pressure. Just when stability seemed close, something shifted again. But that cycle is ending. Not because of luck, not because of chance, because God has sealed a new season in your life. And when God seals a season, it does not only affect money, it reshapes your thinking, it refines your desires, it strengthens your discipline. What you are about to experience is not a temporary lift, it is a deeper shift in the way you live, decide, and build your future. And in a moment, you will understand why the season behind you had to end before this new one could begin. But before we go deeper, take a moment and write "sealed" in the comments as a declaration of faith. The season you were leaving behind was not meaningless. It taught you lessons that comfort never teaches. Limits taught you prudence. Scarcity taught you discipline. Dependence taught you humility. There were moments when you wondered why progress felt so slow, why stability seemed always one step away. But what felt like delay was preparation. Because when prosperity arrives without character, it destroys. But when prosperity arrives after discipline, it builds something lasting. And that is exactly what God has been shaping in you. And if you look closely, you may already notice that something inside you has started to change. At first, the change feels subtle, quiet, almost invisible, but something inside you is already different. Impulses that once felt urgent now feel weaker. Comforts that once seemed necessary now feel strangely empty. Your decisions are beginning to change. You start thinking further ahead. You begin asking different questions. Not what can I gain today, but what can I build that lasts? This is not restriction. This is maturity, and maturity is the foundation of lasting prosperity. But there is another reason this shift is happening, and it explains why certain doors in your life had to close. There is something important you must understand. Some of the doors that closed in your life were not losses, they were protection. Certain opportunities disappeared because they were connected to the old cycle, the cycle of chasing, the cycle of reacting, the cycle of surviving instead of building. God was not rejecting you, He was redirecting you, because the future prepared for you requires something stronger than temporary success. It requires stewardship. In the old season, you chased opportunities. In the new season, you govern what is entrusted to you. That is a completely different posture. You move differently, you think differently, you spend differently, you plan differently. Money stops being something you chase and becomes something you steward. And stewardship changes everything.
Because when someone learns to steward well, growth becomes natural. On quiet days, you may feel the temptation to look back, to test the old door, to wonder if the old patterns might return. That feeling is human, but understand this clearly. Heaven has already sealed that door, not to punish you, but to protect the future God is preparing for you. The old rhythm of constant instability is ending, and the new season ahead of you will feel different, not louder, not faster, but steadier, stronger, more intentional. And that leads to the most important part of this message. Every new level comes with responsibility. Greater provision requires greater wisdom. This is why your desires are beginning to change. Quick comforts feel less attractive. Short-term decisions feel less satisfying. Instead, something deeper begins to grow inside you. A desire to build, to plan, to invest your time and resources into things that multiply. This is the mindset of stewardship, and it is the mindset that sustains prosperity. One of the first signs of this new season is peace. Not excitement, not noise, peace. A calm confidence that replaces constant financial anxiety. You begin to realize that stability is not created by rushing. It is created by consistent, faithful decisions, small choices repeated with discipline. And that peace becomes the foundation for everything you build next. Take a moment and reflect on this question. What habit in your financial life do you feel God asking you to change in this season? Write a short answer in the comments. Sometimes the smallest decision becomes the beginning of the biggest transformation. Walk forward slowly. There is no need to rush. When God seals a season, the change is not temporary. It is structural. Your thinking changes, your priorities change, your discipline strengthens, and the future you are building becomes steadier with every faithful step. The old cycle has ended. The door behind you is closed,
and the season ahead of you is one of stewardship, wisdom, and lasting provision. And if this message spoke to you today, share it with someone who may need this encouragement. Because sometimes the message meant to strengthen another person becomes the very confirmation your own heart was waiting for. And when you are ready, watch the next video where we explore practical ways to steward the financial season God is opening in your life.